When those words slipped out of her mouth, it felt like the ground had disappeared beneath me. We were sitting in the living room, the TV humming quietly in the background, when my wife exhaled a long sigh and said almost offhandedly, "Sometimes I think I should have married my ex instead." She spoke as if she were commenting on the weather, like it was nothing more than a passing thought. But to me, it was a blade straight to the chest. I didn't argue. I didn't ask her to explain. I didn't raise my voice. I simply stood up, grabbed my keys, and walked out without saying a word. The silence I left behind echoed louder than any outburst could have. Maybe she thought I was sulking, throwing a fit. But I wasn't. I was broken. That single sentence told me everything I needed to know about how she truly saw me and our marriage. I didn't drive anywhere in particular. I just kept going, city lights smearing across my windshield as my mind spiraled. I thought about every sacrifice I had made for her. Every late night I worked so she could live the life she wanted. Every promise I had kept, while she secretly wished for someone else. By the time I pulled over, I already knew I couldn't go back. Instead, I checked into a hotel, deciding she could sit with the emptiness she'd created. I didn't text. I didn't call. I left no trace of where I was. By the second day, the calls started, one after another. Her messages shifted from casual check-ins to apologies, then to desperate begging. I ignored them all. The truth was, I had been bracing for this for months. Deep down, I had already noticed her dissatisfaction, in her tone, in her distance. Quietly, I built a safety net, opened a separate account, saved money, and even signed a lease for a small apartment. Her careless words that night were simply the final confirmation I needed. By the third day, she was unraveling. Her texts turned into long confessions, claiming she didn't mean it, that she was just upset after scrolling through social media and comparing her life to others. But I knew better. People reveal their true feelings when they're comfortable. And that night, she had spoken hers. Meanwhile, I was already moving my things into the apartment I'd been secretly paying for. When she showed up at my office, one of my co-workers told her I had taken time off. That's when it must have sunk in that I was serious. She eventually tracked down the hotel, but by the time she got there, I was gone. She turned to my family and her friends, crying, claiming I had abandoned her. But when they asked why, she had to admit what she said. And that's when they stopped defending her. Then the reality struck her even harder. Everything she thought we shared, our house, the car, even the credit card she spent freely on, was under my name. Piece by piece, the illusion of her security crumbled. I stayed away for a week. During that time, her messages swung from anger to guilt to despair. First, she accused me of being childish, of overreacting to a single comment. Then came the soft apologies, the attempts to smooth things over. Finally, her tone turned frantic, insisting she couldn't live without me. But I remembered the countless nights I lay awake, wondering if I was enough for her. I remembered every time she brushed off my efforts, every sigh of disappointment when I tried to make her happy. And above all, I remembered her voice saying she should have married her ex. That wasn't a slip. That was the truth. On the 9th day, she finally found me. She came to my apartment, disheveled, eyes red from crying, and tried to throw her arms around me. I stepped back. She begged me to come home, promised she'd never say anything like that again. But her words were empty now. Once trust shatters, there's no way to piece it back together. I told her I wasn't returning, that I had already started the divorce process. She went pale and collapsed on the floor, sobbing. She admitted she never believed I'd actually leave, that she thought I'd fight, then forgive her like always. But this time, my silence had spoken for me. That was when she finally understood. The hidden account, the apartment, the quiet preparation. She realized she had mistaken my patience for weakness, thinking I'd endure forever. But now, she was left with nothing but the fallout of her own words.